Hello people that in the house doing today. I just want to talk about something I probably should have talked about, maybe I did talk about before, back a while ago. But I want to talk about it now because obviously the general election is obviously back in debate and the rest of that. And I have to speak up because these cars keep going past. But yeah, that's pension age. The pension age is 66. If I'm right in saying that, it's 66, used to be 65, it's gone up to 66 now. Obviously that's for the state pension, for you to retire and get a state pension. And I do have a story to tell you in the films, but I say this straight, to be honest. I think the retirement age should be 61 or 62 for the state pension. I think it should be. I don't think it should, be going up because this is up or over it could go up because they want to make it the 66 or 68, which is with a lot of people dead before they get the state pension. And that's the simple that they're trying to they're going to make it sooner or later that you have to be nearly 90 before you get the state pension because the government can keep the money maybe or something like that. But it's a shame. And my father, he's still alive. But my other his father, and I have a good story to tell you here. My father walked when he was 14 till he walked till he's 56. And he couldn't walk any longer because his heart, his problem with his heart. And so he couldn't walk out. Honestly, people years ago, they wouldn't, he nearly would rather die than not walk and sit there and do nothing. And, it does kill him to sit there and do nothing. And he's 65 this year. He's 65, he's 65 now, and he's going to be 66. And, for a long time, he didn't think he was going to be entitled to the state pension because he didn't, back then there was no such thing as. Nowadays, as soon as you walk, you put money into an investment fund, which is going towards the state pension and your pension, and obviously, anything like that. And obviously, back in his time, there was no such thing as that. There was never talk about, pension that you have to pay into. It was always the state pension you got. Whatever that was, it was, it wasn't the best money, but it was some kind of money. And so he did walk, and he did walk all his life. Like he walked from 14 to 56. And never took a day off. He always was always hard walking. Full on all the time, the same as me nearly. Like he never, the same, and his father too. His father was, he think I'm talking about my father walking and walking and walking. His father just never stopped walking, and his father was relentless at walking, and then, ended up wearing himself out. And obviously he walked from a very young age too. And obviously he always paid his taxes to the state, and sadly he never got to see, anything like a state pension and all that. But I'm trying to say, like my father, he tried to, get a state pension. And he did get this thing, he did get it eventually, but the hassle he had to go through, to get it, because they were like, you didn't pay into any, or you didn't pay into this, you didn't pay this, you didn't pay that. And so the only thing at the time, and he even said it to me, there was no such thing as health and safety and all that when he was walking. It was just, you pay your tax and that's all you have to pay. You don't PSNI or anything like that. You just pay your tax to the government. And, there was nothing else after that. There was no discounts or anything like that. The government wasn't greedy. So that was them times. But yeah, thankfully he's going to get his state pension. Which he's delighted. He's really, really delighted because there's an extra few bob. Than when he was on social welfare, which was really, really good, and he's happy with it. And he deserves it for all his hard work he done all throughout the years. And I really, when we really have to take our hats off to, people like him who worked all their life, he worked all his life, hard jobs. This was not easy work he worked at. He worked in loads of different places. It was, obviously it was terrible conditions, long hours for, little money, but money went further years ago than it does now. But it should be all, I'm sure that's the case with everybody's grandfather and grandparents and maybe mother and father. They worked and they worked very hard. And we should take our hats off, we should take a minute, to appreciate all the work they put into everything they did. And that's something we should appreciate, I suppose, as young people nowadays. We should appreciate the work they did. And I really have to say, I think it should be 61 or 62 the pension age. And I think Sinn Féin is giving out a lot about it. And I think they're right in a way to give out about it. because it is, you know, older people generally, you know, from my experience, you know, they don't really care. You know, they really don't start. They don't really care. Like my father wasn't going to look for it. Like he wasn't going to look for it until, you know, he said it would be nice to get an extra few bob just to have it. You know, if he wants to get anything, you know, wants to get a new dartboard or anything like that. And he was right to look for it. Like a lot of old people I know never bother to look for it. They went over 66 and never just bothered to look for it. And you know, because it'd be too much hassle. Because you know, like what happened with my father, they were saying, you know, he never paid into any and all that. And you know, they're more entitled than anybody nearly nowadays. Like there's young people walking, and so you know, they don't even pay half of the tax, and they don't even pay half of the stuff. And you know, they don't even work half of the hours. Like, but yeah, that's the story. But I just want to say it should be 61 or 62. And just to say too, there was people that were forced to retire about 6 years ago when they got to 65, and I think that's in the state job too. If you're on the council or if you're on a government job, and obviously they should retire because obviously Biker would have all his money made before he even gets to even 60. He have his money made. But yeah, but hopefully maybe they might cop on a bit. Please God they will, because you know a lot of they do the stuff. The older people do the stuff. They have to stay a few extra bob a week. On the state pension, you know, it would be very nice. But anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more and bye.